They see me in the red, gold and green, on dirty streets that by Tuesday afternoon will be clean. To the gate, to the park, to the grove. You can't miss me, I'm everywhere. You see me in the dimpled cheek of a little girl as the light hits her smooth brown skin. The sticky orange residue from a packet of cheesy snacks. The crunchy crumbs dust her face like a mini orange galaxy. Her eyes are the brightest stars of them all. Nevaeh is her name and she is joy personified. This day, which is turning into night as it's way past Nevaeh's bedtime, might be the most exciting day she's ever had in the 6 turns she's had around the sun. And it's only just begun. So let's carry on. You'll feel me in the bass of the rhythm. You'll hear me in the beat of the drum, in the swish of the hips, in the red stripe on lips, the way the beat dips and comes back in and the crowd goes wild. You'll smell me in the air, like barbecued meat sticking to your skin and hair, the woody smells of weed and the sweet sticky smell of sweat. That's where you'll find me. That's where I'll be. I'm ready and waiting. The spirit of disruption throbbing through my veins, the mischief of my muses come into play. I love it. I love the sound of the bass and the colours so bright, feathers and silks that dance into the night, the beats that travel from continent to continent, pulsating through the air, yeah. It's more than a good time, 'cause it's tangible. It's rhythmical and cyclical. I'm there every year, but I never grow old. You feel the magic in the atmosphere pulling forces together. A 16-year-old boy stops and stares at a 16-year-old girl whose skin radiates in the sunlight. And she gives him a smile to let him know it's alright for him to come over. His shy smile glistens with teeth so white. The girl's simple vest top in a highlighter green glows fluorescent in the evening sun. A drop of rain lands on her shoulder, which he is desperate to kiss, but he doesn't because he understands consent. And she looks like the type of girl that isn't afraid to vent her rage when somebody's son tries to take off her and eat ya. So he whispers in her ear, "She looks good tonight." Notices the chaperone to her right. Nevaeh. "Who's this?" "My little sister. My mum said I can only go if she comes with me." It's kinda lame. "I'm not lame." "What's your name?" "Heaven spelled backwards." The boy takes a second and thinks. "Nevaeh." "How did you know?" The drip drop of the rain starts coming down harder. The liquid drop becomes bigger and the sky has turned grey. The girl didn't spend her morning getting her hair pressed within an inch of its life to have it turn into a frizzy puffball in front of what has to be the hottest guy she has ever seen. This desire for this stranger makes her feel uncomfortable. Feels big and inflated and urgent and heated. She's not ready for it. It's fight or flight. "Let's go." "No!" The girl grabs her sister with a firm hand and they begin to walk. The boy watches them go. There's something about this girl that he knows he won't be able to get out of his head, but he might have no choice. The rain starts to fall and Nevaeh and her sister run for cover, and in the blink of an eye, she's gone. I don't know why people run from the rain. I love it more when it rains, and the mixture of rain and sweat perspires through the air, giving the women a glow. I even love the smell of B.O. sometimes. Seeing the bodies sway on a hot day and the chicken bones litter the floor, but the crowd, they still want more. It's a feast of the mind, body and soul, and I play my role. I am a mango, shipped from overseas into hungry bellies of children who have seen more rain than the dry sunny climates that the sweet ripe fruit came from. I am the laughter of the crowd. I am the loud sound of a music truck vibrating across the white semi-detached houses. I am the 5-pound trip to the toilet. I am the Irish. I am the blacks. I am the dogs. And today we all come together to celebrate. But it's not without pain. Sometimes the reminder of the bloody roots of this celebration bleeds through. Squabbles turn into arguments, spaces are invaded, and bodies are sometimes pierced with the cool hard metal of a knife. The red splashes on the street, never as neat and ordered as the bloodstains we see on a police drama crime scene. We remember those who came to party but never make it back home. Men in helmets do their best, but the bobbies on the beat don't always get it right. Police officers from around the M25 volunteer for the job, unfamiliar to the area, to the places and faces and cultural tradition, and the tensions between the crowd are strong. Is wanting to be policed by your own people so wrong? So we're getting political. 'Cause this shit is political. But what of the politics? The people who breathed life into me. Do we still remember them, or are they forgotten in history? Have they been silenced? Will we hear their voices again? Have they been silenced? Will we hear their voices again? I think it might be time for a story. A story of how Carnival came to be in all of its glory. You see, the Caribbean diaspora were trying to find some space in the disorder that was living in the motherland. Let's start with our sister Claudia. Claudia was a bandit. Well, not quite, but there had been some trouble in America that had brought her to this land, but we won't get into that right now. And as she wrote notes, she got braver. And those notes turned into a paper. But her ambition burned, and she wanted more people to learn about the traditions and cultures that she held dear. The political is personal, and the personal took to the streets. Claudia's passion began to take shape, and the first fete came to the streets of West London. The sounds rang out on a festival of joy. We wind rush pon them and stamp our feet just like back home, and suddenly we didn't feel so alone. Our boy looks at his phone. It's nearly 9:30 and it's starting to get dark, and him and his boys have worked up an appetite. There are a couple girls around. Afro puffs and braids, edges laid, but he can't get her off his mind. The girl and her sister with the bright eyes. Nearly 1 million partygoers. He might never see her again. You win some, you lose some, he says to himself. But this loss feels seismic. A loss he's pushed back from so long. Remind him of a song. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And his mind drifts from the carnival to his friend. A boy who looks a bit like him. A boy who he'd seen the night before his life had ended. Some nights he can see his friend's big hazel eyes, hear that throaty laugh, his big grin. He imagines that car crashing into him, and he wakes up in a sweat. And now he's gone and we all have to move on. I bubble and I create and I know what I can do. Conjure these two spirits meeting part 2. The boy is now craving a beef patty. He moves from the spot to get into a queue and leaving the food truck with 2 patties and 2 green cans of ting with a little sidekick behind her. The girl from before. So what, you couldn't keep away? He doesn't know what to say, but he's now at the front of the queue and it's time for him to order, so he orders a beef patty. She has a phone and she hands it to him. Where are you gonna put your number in? He enters his digits to the phone and adds himself to a Snapchat, just in case. That face. He's never gonna let her get away. Nevaeh looks at him with a smile. He smiles back and he thinks, I could get used to this. I can get used to this feeling. I can get used to this. The girl walks away. Beef patty in hand, he walks back to his friends, but it's like he's floating on air, not a care in the world. A wolf whistle from one of his friends takes him out of his trance. Come, let's dance! And he dances. He dances in the street like no one is watching him. He is Stormzy, he is Drake, maybe he's even a little Beyonce. But he's a carefree black boy and there's nothing more beautiful to see. And we march on the streets of Notting Hill, armed with costumes and war paint and dance moves. Every step we take, we make the dance floor shake. Footsteps are coming harder and harder, and it gets harder because the people want the rhythm but not the blues. Black music but not black people. So we have to fight for our right to party. So that's what we do. I heard the people say that when we lose someone, they become an ancestor and it's their name we must carry on. Sister Claudia would have wanted it for us. Her blue plaque stands on this pleasant green land that is covered in concrete and brick and smog to represent the giants whose shoulders we stand. But we are still under threat. When words from the local council tell us that our magical festival is too loud, too proud, and unsafe. The place that made us feel safe has come under threat, and we're all afraid because as borders get carved up, house prices go up, and our politicians don't show up. This is our place, our home, and we make it work. We rise through the dirt and are powerful giants in t-shirts with beating green hearts like pieces of art taking over these streets because we are king. We are all the things they told us we couldn't be. We are the ancestors' dreams. And we beat the drum. And the beat goes on and on. And on and on.